While we're waiting for the space station to come over your portion of the sky, let's talk a little bit about how it's going to happen. Of course, Mission Control is in contact with astronauts all the time, using a big radio across the space station.
However, we're going to be using something very different. We're going to use ham or amateur radio to talk directly to the International Space Station.
When most people hear the word radio, they think of a music radio station, but it's so much more than that. Radio actually refers to the unseen energy that transmits all sorts of signals using electromagnetic waves. At first, we would learn how to send signals like Morse code, and then they discovered we can send so much more, like data, computer signals, and even heat.
Maybe you don't realize it, but you use radio every day. Maybe you watch the TV this morning, or you texted your friends, or maybe even you check social media like Twitter or Instagram.
Let's travel back to space for a minute. Since the beginning of the space age, humans have sent many spacecraft out into the universe. These range from the Hubble Space Telescope orbiting the Earth daily, and the Curiosity rover exploring Mars. We've even sent a long-distance messenger, the Voyager 1, who has traveled outside of our solar system.
Whether it's capturing a great picture of a far-off galaxy or conducting experiments on the space station, radio has to do with all of this. And today, you're going to be using a radio. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is a radio?
Amateur or ham radio is a service and a hobby where operators can talk to people around their neighborhoods, their cities, their country, and even around the world. Amateur radio operators require a radio license from the government. They're not that hard to get. I have one. My call sign is KM4LAO.
And mine is KD81 here. Our call signs are a way of identifying who we are to other operators. This lets everyone know that we have a proper license to use the radio.
As amateur radio operators, or hams as we are often called, we can talk with others about basically whatever we want. Often science or some new radio gadget that we're interested in.
Let's focus back to the space station and your contact with it. Many of the astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the space station are licensed ham radio operators. That's why your operators today contact. The people here, as well as the astronauts, are licensed to talk to each other, and you are allowed to talk over to the radio.
For our conversation today, we'll need an amateur radio station on the ground, either in this location or somewhere else around the world. We'll also need a radio in the space station.
You can hear the call sign. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, International Space Station, over.
On the space station, the radio transceiver is connected to an amateur radio antenna mounted on the outside. One of these antennas will be used today during our contact.
For our second contact, we need a good-sized antenna. A signal amplifier with something compressed and stronger, and rotators for turning our antenna. We have to keep our antenna pointed right at the International Space Station. And remember, it's moving across the sky and fast. To aim the antenna properly, we need to track the path of the space station exactly. NASA uses complex systems to track the path of the space station and other orbiting objects. The satellite tracking program we are using works out a complicated set of mathematics to provide the orbital location of the space station, moment by moment as it moves through space. This information is sent to the computer that controls the antenna rotator, which moves the antenna to follow the space station. Maybe some of you have seen or worked with robotics. That's pretty cool stuff. And just like you can program a robot where to go, what to do, and how to get there, you can also program a computer to tell an antenna how to track the space station across the sky.
You know, it took a lot of planning to get this contract. Several weeks ago, the ARIS operations team had to figure out where the space station's orbit would pass over this location. Then, they had to talk with the players at NASA's Johnson Space Center. The cruise time was pretty cool, so they were able to find a time that worked for the crew member schedule. Once they found times that would work both in space and here on the ground, the host organized this conference. And in just a few minutes, you'll be hearing and talking to the astronauts.
Well, it's almost time for your contact. It will be exciting, so good luck with it.
All right. volunteers. The astronauts are paid, but not us. Okay. What we're going to do now is put up the tracking system so that you can see where the station is. And I know we have some new people in here. Do you want to tell them anything, Stephanie?
So welcome to the ARIS contact mission, amateur radio on the International Space Station. So these 20 kids are going to be talking to the astronauts on board the space station. In particular, an astronaut, Scott Tingle. They will be asking him questions. 10 of the questions come from our students here at Allen, and 10 of our students were selected to read questions from students at other schools. We are live streaming to schools in San Antonio and also Dallas, some schools here in town, and also the lower school kids are watching while they eat lunch today. So a lot of people are watching today, and that's one of the reasons that it's so important that we stay quiet so that they can hear on the live stream. But we're just really excited. The space station is going to be making its way over. We'll have about 12 or 13 minutes from horizon to horizon. Remember, they're traveling 17,500 miles an hour, so we don't have a lot of time to talk to them, but we will have about 13 minutes. We just thank you guys for coming, and are we good at tracking that? So, you want to explain the driver?
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the tracker. It shows where the ISS is. The bubble. Oh yeah. So this big circle you see, that is what we call the radio footprint. So this is where we have a line of sight to the International Space Station, so that we can talk to it. So once we're inside this little bubble, there's no reason to talk showing L, but we're right around here. And that's when our contact will start. And we'll be able to talk to us until we leave the bubble, which is only when the space station is somewhere around here.
All right. So when that circle gets close to us, you know where we are. When the edge of it comes, the space station will be in the center of the circle, but they're 250 miles high. And where are they going to be over when we first talk to them? Idaho. I'm going to do a radio check real quick. If you can hit, give me something on 800. We got some feedback, but what happened is he just made a transmission over the radio that we received off of my radio, and then we have this microphone here. The feedback was because we're too close here, but when the astronaut's talking, we're only going to hear him off the radio, but I think
You guys hear that good? Thumbs up?
everybody can hear it. All right. Now, the reason I have this sign is that the astronaut can only hear us off of this microphone, which goes to my radio. This microphone here is what you're going to hear. Our students are going to be talking into both of them at the same time. This one's always going to be on, okay? This one isn't going to be on because all the time, if I put it on all the time, we can't hear them talk back. So we have to say over, and the students know how to do that. So they're going to come up here, they'll ask their question, and they will say over. When they are asking their question, I'm going to be holding up this sign that says we're on the air. I'm also going to be turning my transmitter on with this switch. That way, you'll know to be quiet, because if you talk while they're talking, it will go into here, and the astronaut will hear that as background noise. When the astronaut responds, my radio will pick it up just like that one did, and you'll hear it over this microphone. Okay? During that time, the students will be moving to the next position for the next question. We hope we can get through all the questions. Everybody's worked really hard, especially these students who have practiced these questions. Now, everybody hold up your cards, make sure you're in sequence. Let's see your numbers, okay? If the number on there is a sequence of the question, and the letter behind it is where they're from. If it's an A, that's a student from Allen who wrote that question, who submitted that question and was chosen, okay? If they have an R behind it, that means the question was submitted by one of the students from Rockwall. If you can see their pictures here. And our students here at Allen will be asking those questions for them, okay? And there's one in there from Harlandale. Number 6, she's got number 6, okay? So that's from Harlandale. That's from one of the space clubs in Harlandale District in San Antonio. And like I had told some of the people before, it's a big honor to even get one question from your school. And here we have a whole bunch all from one. So it's going to be very exciting. I'm trying to hold my emotions in check because we've been working for a year to hear the space station come back and talk to us. We've all practiced listening to other contacts from other schools that I've heard them talk to them so we can receive them. In fact, we heard part of one today that was in Georgia. And how long ago was that? Almost an hour and a half, because that's all the time it takes for the space station to go around the Earth. Every time it goes around, though, it goes over a different part. It doesn't just sit up there in one spot. So since I've been talking, can you see that now, if we were in Alaska, we could hear them? It's not over Alaska, but it's inside that lighted circle. And as that thing progresses down, we're going to eventually get it when the edge of that circle, if all of our calculations are right, we should be able to make a call at that time. About 7 more minutes. Now, Keith is an old hand at this, and he's got his backup station there in the event that something happens with my station here. But this is the primary one, and that's the backup. And then we also have Daniel, who's going to be checking to make sure that our antenna's pointed the right way. The antenna's outside. You saw pictures of a similar antenna on the movie. And once the actual contact is over, you're welcome to look outside and look at the antenna. You're also welcome, if you have time, I know you've got class and everything, to come up and look at any of our equipment. You're going to hear the presentations from your Allen students here. Daniel is still a student at A&M. He's an aerospace engineering graduate student. And he and I are available to mentor the radio club here. If you want to have a radio club, I know there's some that want to do this. We also do things besides listening for the astronaut. We talk through the satellites, we build the satellites and launch them, and we track those. We also use our radios to talk to people all over the world. I have confirmations from every single country in the entire world except one. And it's not because my radio won't reach there. It's because the organization there doesn't let anybody talk back. Okay? But right here from our station that we can have right here on Allen Academy, you can talk all over the world with our radio. And you're going to think, why would somebody take the time to do this? Find somebody that's busier than an astronaut. With all the education, everything they have to do, you can see that Scott has his license, he has his call sign. It's something that we can show you how to do. That's the reason that Daniel and Keith and Ron and I are here. We do not work for NASA. We don't get paid for this. We have other things we do. But this is our fun. And it's something we've been doing for a long time. It's exciting. It's something we're glad to share with you. So now how many minutes we got? Okay, you got about 5. Can you see where the edge of it is? Daniel's going to have to get over on the rotor. We already have the rotor pointed where it's going to come up. Can you tell that we have to point toward the northwest? Can you see the track? The yellow line shows where the spacecraft is going to be. So when we first contact them, if they're going to be over Idaho, which way do we have to point our antenna? Toward Idaho, which is that way. Okay? And as they pass by us, not only do we have to turn the antenna like this, what else do we have to do because the spacecraft's going to fly overhead? We have to turn it up. So it's a complicated azimuth and elevation rotor system, something that you don't see very often. It will turn this way and it will also rotate the antenna up. And to make sure it's working right, that's going to be Daniel's job. Obviously, if we were at NASA, this would be a ground control station. I mean, that's what we have. We do have a ground control station here. It's just that they're going to talk to us about these questions here. And you know what? You didn't get to hear all the questions because the mic wasn't turned on. Some of these questions, all these questions are great because they were picked. But I mean, some of these questions are ones that even we have been around a long time. Nobody's ever asked. I've heard a lot of these, and so has Keith. We have some questions here that we're waiting to see what the answers are going to be. I think it's going to be exciting. And I may just keel over when I hear Scott Tingle's voice come back on my radio here. I mean, we've been practicing this over and over, and when we actually hear him come back, I may just fall over. All right?
Initially, we're going to have a receiver on.
Yeah.
You'll hear what the noise is doing. And we can call probably 30 seconds before we hear it.
And what's going to happen is why is it that I can hear them when they're over Idaho? Remember, the Earth is curved. Maybe we should have had a picture, right? The Earth is curved, and so from here, I can't see Idaho directly, obviously, but the spacecraft is 250 miles above the surface of Idaho. And I can just see that on the horizon. I'm talking about like on the zero of horizon. Now, what do you guys have that way? You got a few trees and stuff, so we may, until it rises a little bit, we may have some noise. And also, once it gets out over the Caribbean, especially by the time it flies over like Cuba, we'll still have a minute or two we can talk to it as it goes past Jamaica. But it's going to be very low. Oh, and I'm already pointing that way. Which way will we have to have the antenna pointed to? That way. Okay? It's going to go from northwest to southeast. Okay? It's getting close. You can see that if we were in Colorado, we could be calling them right now. And what's happening is there are other stations right now, just like our students practice on other call signs. There are other stations right now that are going to listen to us. They will not be able to hear our contact with the spacecraft. Why? Because my antenna is pointed up at the spacecraft. It's not pointed at Colorado or Alabama. But when the spacecraft is talking down to us, everything in that circle can hear them. So they will hear one side of the conversation. They will hear they will hear the answer from the astronaut. Okay, so see now, it's already on West Texas, so we're getting close. We have less than a minute, huh? All right. So I'm going to be quiet. And my wife is a registered nurse, and she can revive me if I fall over. Okay, so you see where the edge is there is about over San Angelo. Yeah, 17,500 miles an hour. People on it.
Just in line.
Oh yeah, you want to line them up?
We find hope rate is kind of an idealized estimate, so we might not hear them exactly when we get there. Do I hear them before or after?
They're expecting us to call about this. Sometimes they call. I've listened before where they were calling a minute or so before the other guys could hear him. So we may just hear his voice out of there. Okay, it's getting pretty close. Will we start calling now?
Yeah, I see you to call.
Okay.
Here it is.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
NA1SS, this is W5QZ, Dave Power Station, do you copy? Over. Well, thank you very much. We're all excited down here, waiting for this contact for a long time. You ready for the first question? We have you 5 by 9, armchair copy.
My name is Zoe. What is your favorite meal to eat on ISS? Over. Wrong morning. Does being in space change how you dream? Over.
My name is Calvin. What do you do on your way back down to Earth? Over.
My name is Christian. Are you able to talk to your family from space? Over.
My name is Emma. How old were you when you decided to pursue your dream of being an astronaut? Over.
appears to be in straight line. Over.
From Abby, what happens to your tears when you cry in space? Over. From Caitlin, does it ever scare you that you might collide with a full satellite or other large objects? Over. From Abby, what excites you to go to space? Over.
My name is Ethan. How does your body feel when it first gets into zero gravity? Over.
From Jackson, what happens when someone gets sick in space other than tiny problems? Over.
From Clayton, do you still have the RT droid on the ISS? And if so, how does it help? Over.
From Emma, what is the most unusual man-made thing on Earth you have seen from space? Over. My name is Kendall. What is something you or most astronauts do in your free time? Over. My name is Micah. What do you do if water drops float away and you can't catch them? Over.
From Tristan, how is your oxygen supply replenished? Over.
From L, when you return to Earth, do you feel any difference in your body? Over.
Hey, my name is Roman. What is the funniest moment you've had in space? Over. My name is Jackson. What is your favorite experiment you have done on ISS? Over.
Okay, that's our last of our 20 questions, so we're going to take some more time. I'm going to let somebody else come up here, but I want to ask a question. I've heard this question before, but I don't think everybody else has. How do you brush your teeth in space? Over. Okay, that's great. I'm going to let some of the people that worked on the project say howdy. The first one is Stephanie.
Howdy, from College Station. I'm a teacher here at Army Academy, and I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us down here in Texas.
Okay, great. The next one is Daniel, and he's a radio operator himself, AM4OPI.
Hi, this is Daniel, or KM4PI. Same thing, Stephanie. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. And I have a question for you. What is the hardest thing you've ever had to do in space?
The hardest thing that I've had to do in space is spacewalk. They are incredibly challenging physically and incredibly challenging mentally with the amount of tasks that we do when we're outside. And so that just takes a lot of work, a lot of patience, and a lot of perseverance.
Scott, I just want to say that we actually watched you live from our school when you were on your spacewalk, so that was pretty exciting to hear as well.
Thank you so much. It was very exciting and it's very interesting, beautiful. It's an absolutely wonderful experience. Very, very challenging.
We've got one more question here, and we can tell on the track that you're way over the Caribbean, almost in, I guess you're approaching Jamaica. And I want to let everybody in the audience yell a Texas howdy to you on 1, 2, 3. Okay?
1, 2, 3.
Over. Everybody in the audience could say they actually talked to an astronaut flying on the International Space Station. And if we lose the signal here quickly, we want to say how much we really appreciate everything you do. We support the space program. And if you're ever in the Brazos Valley of Texas, come by. You've got a bunch of excited people here who want to say howdy to you in person. This is W5QZ, Dayton College Station.
That's it. All right.
I do want to say that while we have everybody, especially all the ones that are dressed up in space gear, before we do the presentations, if Stephanie can get us all organized, including all of us radio guys and everybody, can get a picture. However you think.
Why don't you guys right here just turn around? We're going to get a quick picture. You guys have flowers? You guys
Hey,